Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all. Today in this video, we'll be looking at expression and control structure in Solidity. So if you are familiar with languages such as JavaScript, Python, and you might already be familiar with some of these control structures basically. And take for instance, if, for loop, while loop, and all of those things, right? So this is basically the same thing also in Solidity. You can basically replicate the same knowledge that you have and also use it here. Alright, so having said that, let's head to Remix IDE to see how this is basically done. Right, so writing functions to like test out some of these control structures and basically just see how it works. Alright, so the first function I want to write will demonstrate how if else work. Right, basically let's call this external and pretty much it. We'll also update this function, and to declare your if else statement, basically use if and the condition, right? In this parenthesis, you want to set your condition. In this case, let's say msg.value, right? So this is a global variable. We already explained this previously, and let's call this variable. And so whatever value that is being sent into this function, basically that is msg.value in this case. We want to check if the value sent in while this function is called is greater than or equals to 1 eta, right? So if it is greater than or equals to 1 eta, we want to return true. So let's change the returns to bool, right? Also want to set else, return false. So pretty much you can do any type of operations here. You can either say equals to, um, greater than or less than, right? But for this case, we'll be doing greater than or equals to 1 eta, right? So pretty much it will expect that this function will return true when the message of value sent is greater than or equals to 1 eta. So also let's go over for loop, right? For loop basically helps us to like iterate over a collection of values, and let's try to iterate on like an array, right? So let's create a function. I call this for loop, right? Public, and let's see how it goes. So we want to iterate over an array. Let's create a fixed size array. We call this public. Okay, so this is us initializing our fixed size array, right? We set it to public norm, and so how do we initialize a for loop? Basically, use the for keyword, right? First thing you want to initialize, right? You want to initialize the counter uint I equals 0, basically. So you also want to set the condition. Now, in this case, I is less than. We want to check the array norm dot length, right? So we are saying that in the case where I is less than the length of the array, right, I want to increment this. So let's quickly write our code in this case. Now we want to perform some kind of sum equation, using sum, and let's say that sum plus equals to num. So we expect this to basically add up all of the value in this array. So let's return this value actually. Returns uint, and then pretty much it will say that return sum. Right? Let's call this view. So pretty much it will expect that when we run this function, it basically loops over the length of the array and adds up all of the value in this array. Okay, so that's that for loop. Let's move to while loop, and let's write another function for this while loop, and pretty much what I want to do. So a while loop is used to execute a statement basically, or a code block repeatedly as long as the expression is true. Right, so as long as the expression that we have set in the while loop is true, the code block keeps running. So that means you have to like set a condition here. As long as this condition is true, this code keeps running. And when the condition is false, the code stops running. So let's quickly initiate this by setting a particular unit to OK, and let's set an array of OK list. So this is a dynamic array, right? I'll be using for this while loop. And so what we want to do is we want to check if OK is less than 7. So for each time OK is less than 7, we repeatedly increment OK, and basically we say it should also push to OK list, right? Dot push. So we're asking it to like push to the OK list, but before then, let's also try to return, um, because this is an array, we basically want to set the data location, and also we say return OK list, right? Too much it. So let's deploy this contract and see how that goes. We have if else, right? The first one. So in this case, we are not sending any value yet, 0. It should return false, right? If we check, it returns false, right? The next one is, so let me try to send a value greater than 1 eta, and if I call the if else statement again, it basically returns true. And so let's check while loop or for loop first. So we are expecting this value to equate to 100, basically sum up all of the value in the num array, right? So we have 100. Also, let's check while loop. So if we check while loop, you see while loop basically the function stops when the value exceeds 7, right? So this is the essence of a while loop. It basically keeps running the function until the condition is false, right? And in this case, when our OK value got to 8, the function stopped running, right? The while loop stopped running. So pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.